At 6 months in utero, Wyatt and Jonas Maines are fully formed. In a sonogram performed in a medical office near Northville, New York, on the afternoon of July 7, 1997, one of them is hunched over, the individual vertebrae visible in the shadow of the fetus's arched spine. The imaging technician uses an arrow to point out the head, then the trunk, then the legs. A tiny hand hovers in space, relaxed in the amniotic fluid, its minuscule fingers moving ever so slightly, as if practicing a piano piece. 45 seconds into the video, the technician points to the vaguely outlined shadow of one of the twins' genitalia and types onto the screen, "Still a boy." It's the tech being funny, of course. Both fetuses emerged from a single egg. They have the exact same DNA, and they're identical male twins. How could one of them not still be a boy? By the time Wayne and Kelly finally held their newborn sons in their arms 3 months later, the couple had been married 5 years. For 3 of those years, Kelly suffered through multiple miscarriages, as well as months of tedious and painful fertility treatments. Everything changed in early 1997, though, when she got a phone call from her cousin Sarah, a 16-year-old she barely knew. The teenager said she was in trouble and didn't want to have an abortion, but she was also too young to raise a child on her own. Would Wayne and Kelly consider a private adoption? Kelly's own upbringing in the Midwest was anything but traditional. The roots of her family, as much as she knew them, began on the limestone bluffs on the north bank of the Ohio River in the town of Madison, Indiana. Founded in 1809, about halfway between Louisville, Kentucky, and Cincinnati, Ohio, Madison had its heyday as a river town in the mid-19th century. It was also an important first stop on the Underground Railroad, and as early as the 1820s was home to a thriving community of free blacks. In 1958, it was the fictional location for author James Jones' quaint Midwestern hometown when Hollywood filmed his autobiographical novel, Some Came Running There. According to legend, the star of the film, Frank Sinatra, was so worried about being stuck in a hick town during the shooting, he persuaded his buddy Dean Martin to take a supporting role. Kelly's grandfather was a paddleboat captain in Madison at a time when steamboats still plied the waters, delivering goods to towns up and down the Ohio. He took his first wife there, but divorced her to marry Kelly's grandmother, the oldest of 9, and barely a teenager when her own father abandoned the family. A short time later, she began working in a glove factory to help support her mother and siblings, and at age 19 married Kelly's grandfather, partly out of love, partly as an escape from the drudgery of caring for so many children. The couple soon moved to Indianapolis, where Kelly's grandfather got a job with the Mayflower Moving Company, and Kelly's grandmother raised 3 girls and a boy. Her grandparents were both of German descent, and their values and mannerisms reflected their heritage. They were matter-of-fact, honest to a fault, and no nonsense. Kelly grew up learning expressions such as, "There are no pockets in a shroud," meaning you can't take your money with you, and "It beats hens pecking on a rock," used when she saw something she could barely believe. None of the women in the family cottoned to the popular notion that men were superior, or that ladies should follow certain rules or behave in socially acceptable sorts of ways, which may be why Kelly and others in her family could be so frank about their origins, saying they'd come into the world in what some people once called the bastard way. For Kelly and her relatives, it was just the way it was. Roxanne, her biological mother, told Kelly her father was likely a one-night stand. Kelly was only 2 in 1963 when Roxanne asked her sister Donna to adopt her baby girl. For Donna, a woman with a quick mind and aspirations of a career, life was largely one of frustration. Under other circumstances, she would likely have become a doctor or lawyer. When she was growing up, college was not something many parents wanted or cared about for their daughters. Donna worked for a time at a travel agency and, years later, after the kids were out of the house, enrolled in nursing school and earned straight A's. If you want something bad enough and work hard at it, you can get it. That was a lesson Kelly learned from Donna. Motherhood was not the role that fit Donna best. Still, despite the fact that she already had a daughter, she took in Roxanne's baby girl.